Okay. Morning, everyone. My name is Robert Stormo. I am the Community Outreach Specialist for Job Corps Northwest. Any familiarity with Job Corps? I know you said you had some history with it. A couple people. All right, cool. So, this presentation is just going to talk about opportunities with Job Corps for young people that are maybe not exactly sure what they're going to do after graduation, and how Job Corps can be an option to help with some career training and guidance. I'll also talk about how the program can help those young people that might not make it to graduation day of their high school. So we're helping both sets of students all the same, and this is really informal. There are, out of frame. If you've got questions, or if I say something that is not clear, please put a hand up and let me know what I'm doing wrong. I'm just trying to provide some information. And for the folks that I didn't get a contact sheet for, passed out, I'll make sure that staff have it here, so that if this is something that you want to continue having a conversation with after the presentation or at a future time, we know how to get in touch with one another. Okay, so there on the PowerPoint, there's text in these boxes. So I'll talk about what we're not seeing on the screen. So Job Corps is a free education and career training program for young people between the ages of 16 and 24 years old. And it's absolutely free if you qualify. So during this presentation, I'll talk to you about how you qualify. We are providing training, hands-on training in high-demand career fields for our students. It's a self-paced program. You get to dictate the pace, and as long as your pace is kind of going in a forward trajectory, we're cool with that. And while you're on campus, you are earning state certifications or nationally recognized certifications with the hopes of going down maybe a couple different pathways that we're having a conversation with you about the entire time. So we're working with young people that after they successfully complete their training in Job Corps, maybe they're ready to go straight to work. So we're going to help you figure out what that looks like. Where is work going to be? Where are you moving back to? What do you want to do? So we're helping with that employability piece. We're also working with young people that after they've successfully completed their training, they are interested in maybe going to another Job Corps campus for what we call advanced training. So that's also free. And all of our advanced training opportunities are not based in Oregon or Washington, so you have to move to another state, we pay for you to get there, and then you continue your training. We're also working with young people that have an interest in going to college. So Job Corps has a college program as well, where we partner with the community college that's located near the campus that you're attending. So you get to work towards your associate's degree. We help you pay what you don't earn in grants or scholarships, so we'll pay for those, and you can continue living on campus for free in the dorms and continue getting your meals paid for until you earn that associate's degree. And then that final pathway that we're kind of working with students on is helping young people get into the military. So a couple different pathways that we're kind of talking to you about, and you get to decide the best route for you. Then we're also working with those students too that, again, I mentioned earlier, didn't quite finish high school or wrap up their GED. They can come to us, finish that academic piece, and then also complete that training piece as well, and still benefit or have those discussions about what our pathways look like. You've got up to 2 years to be in Job Corps, but if you don't need to be in the program for 2 years, we encourage you not to be there for 2 years. Take advantage of the benefits of the program, and then let us help you get out of it and on to the next thing. A lot of times people want to know, how long will I be in Job Corps? And it's tough to give you an exact time frame because, like I mentioned a little bit ago, it's self-paced for everyone. So we kind of guesstimate that a young person coming to us with high school or GED already taken care of and getting to focus on their training full time can expect to be in the program a minimum of 8 months. And then our students coming to us needing to complete that academic piece and their training, they can expect to be on campus a minimum of 13 months. And again, it's not absolutes. Everybody kind of moves at their own pace, but again, people want to know, like, how long will this kind of be in my life? second box, not here, talks about how this is free for you, how you get to take advantage of this free training, the free housing, the free meals. You've got to be able to qualify. So the age 16 to 24, that's one of the qualifiers. And then another qualifier is income. It's not the only qualifier. Being able to pass a drug test, that's another qualifier. We'll talk about it in a little bit. And then being able to pass a background check. If you meet all of the criteria, eligibility criteria, then you do qualify for job. And then the last piece, I kind of jumped ahead of it, is talking about our hopes for you is straight to work, straight to or college or the military. So, what you get to decide on is we keep it regional. So our region consists of Oregon, Washington. So you get to decide if this is something you want to pursue, where you want to attend, and what you want to focus on. So I passed out what we give to all of our prospective students that are like, yeah, this is something I want to do. So we give them what we call the campus trade grid. And it shows across the top all the locations, Oregon or Washington, and then down the left side are different training categories. So we ask all of our students, what are you interested in? What do you see for yourself in the future? And if they're like healthcare, then we kind of go down to the healthcare bucket and see what's available to them in the healthcare field. And ultimately, if you do decide on this program, we ask all of our students to identify their number one school, wherever it may be. Again, we're here, somewhere right in there. You don't have to stay here. You can go here if you want to. So we ask you to pick one school, and we ask you to pick a top 3 trainings, all offered at that same school. And we want a top 3 in the event that, like, so number 1 in my mind is like, oh, I want to be a truck driver. And then when I get to campus, and I'm like, you know what? I do not know how to drive a manual, and I don't think I can do this. So then I go to my second option. Second option, I'm like, I don't like this either. Hopefully I go to option 3, or I do go to option 3, and hopefully option 3 is what I enjoy doing and what I graduate the program with. So we ask our students to pick one school and identify the top 3 options all at that same school. So these are the options, but this list doesn't translate as well on the slide. So you've got the better formatted list right in front of you. Okay, so the way it works is you connect with an admissions counselor, or they reach out to you, sign you up, they give you paperwork, you complete the process. Your admissions counselor has to send it to one school, and then once you're approved, you wait for a start date. And then once you've received a start date, you're going to kind of experience the 3 phases of the Job Corps program. So every student has gone through these 3 phases. So there's the introductory phase, called career preparation. Then there's the career development phase. That's when you're actually completing the work, starting the work. And then the transition period is when you're kind of tying up any loose ends. So in the career preparation period, this is your first taste of this new kind of learning ecosystem that is Job Corps. The nice thing about the career preparation period is, like, when you arrive, you're not the only new student on campus. There's going to be a cluster of you of anywhere between 10 and 14 new students. So during the career preparation period, you're not going to any of your classes yet. You're going to be in the career preparation room with your new students, learning about some of the rules, how things operate on campus, getting a chance to meet key staff members, learning about kind of the living situation in the dorms. You're also getting an opportunity to do some trade visits. So think back to when I told you about picking that top 3. So your trade visits give you a chance anywhere from 2 days to a week to spend in your option 1, your option 2, option 3, to really kind of learn from the instructors, see what the kind of class dynamics are like, and kind of get your hands on it to see if this is something you think you can do during your time in the program. So you do your visit in trade 1, you do your visit in trade 2, you do your visit in trade 3. At the end of your trade visits, if you need to kind of reshuffle your deck and make a new top 3, let us know. Because once you're on campus, staff really wants to make sure that they've got your excitement, energy, and kind of you're ready to kind of tackle getting your assignments done in your trade visit. And then another thing that you do that's kind of cool in career preparation is you're doing some long-term career planning using this program called MyPace. So MyPace is super helpful because it helps you take a lot of the guesswork out of what you think you might want to do one day. So it tells you, for example, say you're a student on campus and you're in the Certified Nursing Assistant program, and you're like, you know, it'd be really cool to be a pediatric nurse and help deliver babies, or help parents deliver babies in the hospital and take care of them once they've been born. So you don't necessarily know how to get to that end goal. MyPace does a nice job providing that roadmap for you. So step one might be obviously completing your Certified Nursing Assistant training in Job Corps. Then the next step would be to maybe you're gonna have to go to college, so maybe let Job Corps pay for 2 years of college for you. And then from there, you're gonna have to finish that and complete that 4-year degree. So then you can figure out where you can go kind of close to home to complete that degree. And then you're gonna have to go for a graduate program. So MyPace will let you know where you can go to complete that graduate program and where you might need to go for any kind of additional state certifications or additional training hours or anything like that to be completed. So it really breaks down every step for you along the way, any of the career training options that we offer in the program. And also during career preparation, you're gonna learn about this kind of the school day. So Job Corps is Monday through Friday. The day starts anywhere between 7:30 and 8 and then ends at 4. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day of the week. Breakfast usually starts around 6:30, lunch usually around noon, and then end of the school days at 4, and then dinner anywhere between 5 and 6. So I think every campus has anywhere between 7 and 9 periods. So you get a schedule that's specific to you. So if you're there for welding, it's gonna have 8 or 9 periods packed with welding during the day. If you're there for academics, it's gonna have, I don't know, you need electives, it's gonna have PE, it's gonna have art, it's gonna have English, and then it's gonna also have your periods full of your training if you're there to finish your academic piece as well. So what we tend to see with that too is that our students coming to us with high school or GED already complete get out just a little bit quicker because they're able to dedicate more time to their trainings. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, we are done with career preparation, and now we're in the career development phase. So again, this is where we get that schedule. We know where we're supposed to be throughout the day. Student progress in Job Corps is tracked on a percentage system, what we call the training achievement record. So you enter the program, you're at 0% because you haven't accomplished any assignments. And then the more work you submit and complete, the higher your percentage rises up. At about 50%, that's when you're going to start working a little closer with staff on campus called employment specialists. So they're going to help you with that employability piece. They're going to find an internship opportunity for you, and then they're going to start having these conversations about our next steps post-job, straight to work, advanced training, college, military, what's it going to be? And from there, we're going to start kind of spending more time developing a plan for you post-job. Another great thing about the program too is that you get constant support from your teachers and your training instructors, of course, but you're also assigned a career counselor. Very much like a counselor you have here, checking in on grades, making sure you're doing well, but then also checking in to make sure that you're just feeling good about life in general. So students can check in with their career counselors every day if they wanted to, but at minimum, you have meetings with your career counselor once a month. So it's you, your counselor, and your training instructor, just to kind of check in and see how things are going and kind of congratulate you for doing good work. Going back to this piece, working with an employment specialist, they're helping you with, I mentioned the employability skills, so they're helping you develop your resume, develop your cover letter, helping you even, if you're gonna go straight to work post-Job Corps, let's take a look at what the job market's like wherever you're going. Figuring out where you will be going. And start helping you apply even for maybe jobs that you are qualified to potentially secure based on the skills that you possess once you leave the program. So with that too, for those students going straight to work, we are starting to look at numbers too. Like, so we're coming back here. Are we living with family? Are we living with friends? If we're gonna be living on our own, what's that gonna cost us? And then we can maybe do some budgeting exercises as well. Do we have a car? What are we paying for insurance? What are we doing for fuel? So we start kind of looking a little bit deeper and kind of having discussions about additional responsibilities that might kind of come on our shoulders once we leave Job Corps. We're going to go straight into the workplace. And it's not because we want to scare anybody, but we want to provide a realistic picture of what things are going to cost once we leave Job Corps. So that once you leave, it doesn't come as a complete shock, because we've had these conversations for a long time in the program that, yes, you've got a supportive environment in the program, but it doesn't last forever, and we need to have a plan. Even if the plan isn't concrete, we need to be kind of coming up with something before you exit campus. And in some cases it works out where students will interview for jobs and have jobs lined up or a job lined up before they graduate, which is awesome. Sometimes it doesn't work out like that, and then students have jobs, maybe interviews lined up once they leave campus. So yes, sometimes students leave with a job in hand, and then sometimes students leave campus, but then they have interviews once they leave. But it's all about kind of developing our next steps so we don't feel like we've been completely led astray or left alone once we've left campus. Okay, career development is done, and we are off campus, out of the Job Corps bubble. You're not completely done with this though. You received support for a year from staff members called Career Transition Specialists. So they're checking in with you once a week, phone calls, texts, emails, just to see how things are going. How's the job? If things are going great, then it's a quick phone call. And if things are, maybe you're thinking that it's time to go in a different direction with a new job, they can help you with that. They can make some edits to your resume, make some edits to your cover letter, send you job links, things like that, help you with that employability piece, even though you've left the program. Another cool thing about Job Corps is that you get money for graduating. And your career transition specialist is the person that has that money. So these are important phone calls, texts, or emails to reply to. For our students that complete their training, they get $500 to do whatever they want. And then for our students that come to the program to finish their academics and their training, they're getting $1,200 to use however they see fit. So career transition specialist, definitely an important person to stay connected with post-Job Corps. Okay, some additional benefits. There aren't a lot of schools that pay you every 2 weeks just for attending. Job Corps does. So every 2 weeks, students that are there from their first day to the 6-month mark are getting $45 every 2 weeks. And then once you're there 6 months and a day to your last day in the program, it's $70 every 2 weeks, again, to do whatever you want with. So some students save it, send it home, or spend it before it even comes to the bank. Again, it's your money to do whatever you want with. You're also getting 2 different clothing allowances. The first one happens in the 2nd month of the program, of your 2nd month in the program, and then the final one happens your last month of the program. So with Job Corps, we are trying to prepare you for the workforce, and part of that is dressing the part. Every job has a specific look. So during the week, Monday through Friday, we want you dressed with the appropriate kind of workwear for your given career training pathway, your trade basically. So we'll provide you the trade wear. So the healthcare students are dressed in scrubs, probably the most comfortable look that we have on campus. And then the computer students are business casual, and the construction students are more kind of construction wear. Again, that's all provided for you You don't have to come to campus with that stuff if you don't want to. We offer driver's ed. We will pay for students to get their permit if they don't have that. And if you get your permit, then we'll sign you up, or if you have your permit already, we'll sign you up, put you in the driver's ed program. We will pay for an instructor to come to campus. You'll get some classroom time with them. You'll also get some road time with them as well. If you pass your driver's test, we will pay for you to get your license. I mentioned the college credit opportunities, and then some of our campuses are managed by the United States Forest Service, and at those particular campuses, they provide opportunities for students to make a good chunk of money during fire season, which is usually April to October. So you can apply to be a firefighter at one of these campuses. So really quick on the map, here in Oregon, so Wolf Creek, Angel, and Timberlake are all managed by the Forest Service. And then Fort Simcoe, Columbia Basin, and Curlew in Washington are all managed by the Forest Service. So if you were to go to one of those campuses, yes?
How old do you have to be to do that Forest Service?
So as a firefighter, you have to be, if you get on as a firefighter, you have to be 18. And then if you're on a fire crew during fire season, our students are making upwards of like 15 grand.
Do you like the training? Until I turn 18 to like the training?
Yeah, so yes, you would be able to kind of do the training, but you wouldn't be able to actually like interview or take the PAC test until you turned 18. And then for students that are not 18, there are opportunities to help either on campus, like refurbishing hoses, or even on location on a camp crew. And those students are making upwards of 6 grand during a fire season. So opportunities to make some additional money in the program as well at those specific campuses. And then with our construction training programs, I didn't mention this earlier, on our list, the facilities maintenance and the plumbing are the only ones not a pre-apprenticeship program. The others are pre-apprenticeship program, or pre-apprenticeship programs where the instructors are in the union, and if you do well, it's not a guarantee you'll get in. You have to do the interview. You have to interview well, of course, but if you do get in the union, you've got opportunities to make a lot of money in a short amount of time. Okay, let's go next. So kind of just a general layout of our campus. The biggest campus in the region, I think, has 500, and it's in Astoria. And the smallest one, I think, has about 130, and it's the Fort Simcoe Job Corps Center in White Swan, Washington. So the bigger campuses need more dormitories, more buildings for your training classes, more academic classrooms, more records offices. Every Job Corps Center has a cafeteria and a recreation department too. Again, the cafeteria is open 7 days a week because some students do live on campus the entire time that they are there. So for example, we live here, and if you went to the campus in northern Washington called Curlew, that's like 5 miles from Canada, probably not coming home that often. So we always want to make sure there's an opportunity for you to eat. And then the recreation department also has opportunities for students to hang out, do activities after school and on weekends, more off-campus outings on the weekends, things like rafting, going to the movies, going skiing, skating, going to, I don't know, sometimes they go to like, the location in Portland will go to like Trailblazers games or soccer games, things like that. So outings for the students, because we are trying to obviously prepare you for the workforce, help you kind of have a strong work ethic, but also want to teach you the importance of having hobbies and having that good work-life balance as well. Okay, it's kind of a big piece. We drug test. So all of our students get drug tested their first or second day on campus. And we're a federally funded program, and at the federal level, marijuana is still considered an illegal substance. So we also view it that way, so we're testing for it too, along with other illegal substances. So if a student fails their first drug test, they've got between 30 and 40 days before drug test number 2. You have to pass drug test number 2 in order to stay in the program. Otherwise, you get kicked out right away, like immediately. So, and then you have to wait a year before you can think about reapplying for the program. So, we definitely stress that to all of our students that it's important to be able to make sure you can pass that drug test so that you can stay in the program and reap the benefits that it has to offer. Okay, some additional rules, or excuse me, that's wrong, requirements, and how this becomes free to you. I mentioned income earlier, so that's one way you can qualify. No income is another way you can qualify. Any receipt of public assistance, so if you're getting food benefits, if you're getting housing assistance, if you are getting reduced or free lunch at school, all of that qualifies you for the program. If there's any kind of housing insecurity, couch surfing, or you're living in a shelter, or if you're in foster care, that qualifies you for the program too. Or if we have an IEP or 504 plan, or if we did have an IEP or 504 plan, that'll qualify you for the program. Or if it's none of that, but if there's some other medically diagnosed disability that we can get paperwork for from your clinician or physician saying like, oh yeah, Robert does have ADHD, here's the paperwork. That will qualify me for the program. So there are a lot of different ways to qualify for the program. And then again, any medically diagnosed disability, and we've got the confirmation, that overrides the income. So it doesn't matter what parents or guardians make, because it's overridden by the medically diagnosed disability. And then again, you've got to make sure that we're between the ages of 16 and 24, have legal standing in the United States. Yes?
How does the homeless and runaway car work?
Like if someone's staying in a shelter, then a lot of times like the manager of the shelter can write an email confirming that so-and-so, yes, has been spending these days with us. Or if a student's living in their car, then we just ask them to write an email to us, just like saying, yes, I live in my car every night. So that's the extent of it. It's not and then once we submit that, they're not like digging through and like checking too deeply on that. Good question. Yeah, pass the drug test, pass the background check, and then that's it. You qualify, and then we can start the paperwork process if this is something you want to move forward with. So, first step, collecting information at something like this. The second step is figuring out what you're interested in. Again, because this is all about you. This is you kind of getting a chance to determine the direction that your life gets to potentially go in career-wise. And then getting the paperwork from an admissions counselor. And then figuring out, again, your campus, your desired trainings, completing the paperwork, reviewing that paperwork with your admissions counselor, and then we send your paperwork to the school you want to attend, and then that school completes the review. They've got up to 4 weeks to complete the review. And then once they're done, you're accepted, and you go on a wait list. And we tell you you've been accepted, and that you go on a wait list. And right now, we're telling all of our students that once you're on the wait list, to expect to be there for a minimum of 3 months. Not everybody, it could be a little sooner, could be a little later. Again, it's all kind of dependent on the circumstance and situation. But a minimum of 3 months before you set foot on campus. And then we tell you that whichever campus you're going to wants you to start. It's usually on a Tuesday. We try to give you a month's notice, and then we ask if you can accept that date. If you say yes, then we also check to see if you can get your own ride, and if you can't, we will make sure you get there either by plane, train, or bus. So yeah, we'll make sure that you get to campus on your first day of school as well. And then we'll also provide you a list of kind of like suggested items that you bring with you to campus. So they usually say anywhere between 2 to 3 weeks worth of clothing. You can bring a laptop, you can bring a gaming system, you can bring a cell phone, you can bring photos of family, friends, and pets, things like that. And then you go through the process of career preparation, and then career development, and then career transition once you're on your way out of the program. And again, just my contact information that we got additional questions are on that sheet as well. So that's it. Questions, concerns, thoughts? Let me catch my breath.
And we just had a student, guys, who left beginning of November to do job work up in the Astoria area. So he's gonna be working on his education as well as his training. We have done field trips to job corps at Wolf Creek before, so that might be something that we can do if people are interested, so you can see what campus looks like, right?
And did you touch on this before? I was in and out, but what about a person who has some criminal background?
Yeah, so you can have kind of minimal criminal background activities, so things like minor possession are not going to prevent you from getting in the program. Other small infractions like parking tickets or speeding tickets, that's not going to be an issue. Students need to be off probation, however, before getting into the program. So again, it won't prevent you from being in. You just have to kind of wrap up any outstanding fines larger than $500, and any community service or any court dates all need to be completed before applying for the program.
And so this isn't an option, because I know in the past, I know someone that was going to do it, that was going to use this as maybe an option with like courts, like in exchange
So
you
you-
do something else.
so-
I know that some of the different facilities you guys have, is a little bit different.
So yeah, and with that now they ask that if I do have a probation officer, they ask that I am fully released from probation and then allowed to go. Then my probation officer still wants to check in with me, that's fine, but I think that kind of like, yes, you were officially released.
Do they allow pets? On those support animals, I know they do.
Service. So yeah, we allow service animals. And then some campuses have like staff will bring in cats or sometimes dogs. But for students, if it is a service animal, then yes. But not like the emotional support. Goldfish, I'm not able to bring that with me. to the campus.
Alligators?
Let me get back to you.
Only Florida.
Any other questions?
Can I bring my emotional support dragon?
Ohio. The imaginary friend dragon, yes. What grade are we in?
All of them.
We're in every grade? Who are our 12th graders? 2, 3, 4, 5? Do we know what we're doing? No? That's okay. So as you're trying to figure out like what it is you're gonna do, I'm definitely not here to kind of disparage college. College is great. I went to college, but it was expensive. And if we're not sure how we're gonna pay for it, like that's a challenge for us as well. And if you want college, there's always a way to get that done through Job Corps. And just think of Job Corps as there's a lot of options out there. It's just another option for you that doesn't cost you anything. Think of it as an investment in time, and it's absolutely free. You don't have to worry about paying for housing. You don't have to worry about paying for food. Well, students, I can't lie, students still have Grubhub and DoorDash delivered to campus on a regular basis. But you don't have to pay for any of kind of the essentials, the housing, the food, even the clothing is provided for you. So it definitely is an opportunity for you to kind of have some stability, figure some things out, and let us kind of be there to support you during your time in the program. So I guess that'll be my final pitch, is that Yeah, it doesn't cost you anything except a little bit of time, and it's not even a wasted cost. It's just an investment into your potential career opportunity. So that's all I have. Okay.
Guys have any questions? Any more questions? Is anybody interested in doing a field trip to Wolf Creek? Okay. Wolf Creek is July. We'll work on that.
Is there? Oh, you have a question? I'm sorry. I thought you wanted. Go ahead.
You can leave like any right? Like what's the leaving? If you want to leave, like you
If you decide you don't like it.
Yeah.
Oh, like if you wanted to drop out?
It's not jail.
It is. Yeah, that's a great point. That is an absolute great point because people, they're like, "What about my phone? You take my phone." We're not jailed. There are rules though. You can't just walk off campus. I guess if you really wanted to quit and you walked off campus, that's a good way to guarantee that you wouldn't be able to come back. Yeah, there are rules. Like during the school day, we keep the dorms locked. We don't want students just hanging out in the dorms. If you've got class, get to class. If you're too sick though, go to the nurse's office, sleep it off. So yeah, we do have that accountability piece just because we're in charge of 130 plus students or more depending on the campus. But yeah, so like in the evenings, you have dorm meetings with your residential advisors. You're gonna have to clean your room. They want you to make your bed every day. And yeah, so there are rules like you would have here. But with that too, yeah. And we don't have a bedtime, but they encourage our students to like turn the lights out usually around 10:30. That doesn't mean go to sleep. But that means just like if you're watching a show on your phone or listening to music, just put on some headphones. So yes, there are rules. Yes, we do have students drop out of the program. We're not immune to that.
Campuses are not in larger towns, right?
Yeah, sometimes the campus is actually the town itself. So Curlew, like I mentioned, which is really close to Canada, they're the only thing for like 80 miles. So yeah, you're not gonna go anywhere.
Can't easily walk.
Yeah, there's nowhere to go. Astoria, Tongue Point in Astoria, really close to town, so you can get out on the weekends, sometimes after school. Troutdale is near Portland. You can get off campus pretty quickly over there. So yeah, there are opportunities too, like on weekends if you don't go home, students get off campus and get a part-time job at the grocery store. Or the fast food place. So just another way for students to earn some additional money while they're not having to spend it all on housing or food. So definitely a lot of opportunity within the program. But yes, there are rules. Like there are rules everywhere though. That was a good question. And then cell phones. We don't take your phones away. We just ask that you pick your spots on the appropriateness of when to use your cell phone. So like if if your teacher is kind of teaching you a painting technique and your phone's ringing and you answer the phone while they're showing you a technique, that's probably not the best time to use your phone, right? So maybe you let it ring and then talk to your teacher and see if you can take this call from grandma really fast or respond to this text. So we're not taking things away. We ask that you use your best judgment, but if your best judgment isn't still, if you're like, no, this was a perfectly fine time to answer my phone, we're gonna have a conversation with you about maybe why it wasn't. So yeah, it's definitely non-punitive to a point. We're always trying to relate it to how that conduct could potentially get you in trouble at work. Does that make sense? So we're always trying to, like, well, if we do that, we might not have a job for very much longer, and this is why. So yeah, we're always trying to relate it that way. Okay.